What was the process of planning, budgeting, and joining finances together for the wedding?
It feels like a throwback now. I'd say like you have to start. Did we even start with a budget?
No, we didn't.
We started off trusting the Lord. But I think, no, I remember now. I was very adamant that I did not want to spend money on a big wedding if we didn't own a house. That was my whole thing. Like, I didn't mind if whatever the cost was going to be, the cost was going to be. But it just didn't click in my brain to spend like tens of thousands on a wedding and then go and start renting. Mm-hmm. That was my whole thing the whole time. So, like,
not to cut you, but to be fair to you, yeah, you're right, and I think that's a point in terms of like men and women in relation and marriage, like listening to your partner in that option and decision. I had an opportunity to listen to you and say, you know what, you have wisdom and foresight as well. So in that sense, I was like, you know what, yeah, let me listen. How do we do this? How do we pattern this? And we actually even started saving when we were dating quite early on.
Yeah, that was another interesting
challenge.
Because I was pushing for it because I could just see that, like, if we didn't start early, when we got to where we were going to, it was going to be techie. Mm-hmm. And I was like, look, like, we need to start having a pot for the future. And I think if you're sure about your person, obviously it comes at different times. Mm-hmm. But I think even if, like, you know, you don't feel comfortable joining finances yet, individually you should have a commitment to saving money.
Yeah. And
when the time comes, how much each of you are going to be able to bring to the table. Because if a thing locks off, then, you know, that's sad, but at least you'll have a pot for yourself for, you know, the right situation. But I think it's very, very, very important because then you have options. Because when the time came for us to put a deposit down, like, and all of that, and start applying for a mortgage, we had the money to do it. And I think if you're starting from ground zero and you're planning a wedding, then that's tough. But yeah, so for me, once that was out of the way, like once we had the deposit and everything, we were able to say, okay, look, like, this is what we're trying to achieve. And I also think that's where we started off. We started off from the amount of people that we wanted to have. Mm-hmm. That's always the basis of planning a wedding, mm-hmm. because everything hinges on the amount of people that you're having. If you're having 100 people, then, you know, it's going to be different. We had a massive wedding.
400 plus people.
450.
Oh, 450,
yeah. And then the traditional was like 300.
No, 250?
We had planned for 300, I remember.
I'm pretty sure it was 250.
It was 300. I mean, give or take, but I'm pretty sure it was 300.
Maybe.
And that was also because then you're having 2 events. So then that's even more cost. So you have to start from there, and then everything else dictates it. I'll also say that we had a lot of help. We had a lot of help from Josh's parents, my parents, our families, like my brothers, your siblings. So that ultimately helped us. But yeah, we get to the guest list, then, you know, you're able to kind of plug things in. That determines the size of venue you need. Obviously, you have, like, I don't want to say more basic, but more standard venues. Then you've got your luxury venues, then all of that sort of stuff, food, everything. So it's all, I would say ultimately, the process is driven by the guest list.
Yeah, I think the process of planning, budgeting, joining finances, I think that was the point earlier on when we decided, okay, we're going to save together. For me, it wasn't necessarily an easy decision. I think in my heart, I kind of knew this person was the one for me. So it was kind of, but then when I get advice from people, they were like, are you sure you want to start saving together. And to be fair, it's wise advice. It's wise advice. It's like, just make sure, like, are you sure you want to start saving? Maybe you want to keep it separately. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily know how it's going to go, where it's going to go. And that's the truth. You don't necessarily know, but at the same time, you can have a...
With that, I don't understand. Did they think I was going to take your money and run?
No, but it's just about, like, when you start dating someone, like, you're not just merging everything instantly. Like, it's a process. Do you know what I'm saying? So at certain points and certain times, then you merge things. But for me, because I was confident in the direction of the relationship and where I wanted it to go and so forth, I don't date easily. So it's like, if I get into a relationship, I have to already see the future and see it quite clearly in terms of where it could go. And then I'm allowed, then not even I'm allowed to, then my body lets me, or my brain lets me get into the relationship. Without that, it's just like a seeing thing and it ends horribly. So in that situation, after a bit of advice and wisdom, I was like, you know what, yeah, let's do it. And we started saving together. And then I think, I can't remember when, maybe it was like we had like 2K or 4K. There was a point when we hit a certain amount and I was like, wow, like we're actually saving money together. So yeah, it's good. And I think from then on, it was kind of the same process. So we laid the deposit for the yard and we started saving together money for the wedding and putting it together and so forth. So it's kind of similar. We kind of had an Excel spreadsheet. We used to track the costs in my Google Drive. That was good. I think it tracked a lot of the costs, but there was some hidden costs that we couldn't necessarily track. And some final costs that hit us like...
Bruv, about 2 racks. More than that, about
More
3
than that.
racks the week of the wedding, 2 days before.
Like 2 or 3 days before. And we'd done so well up to the wedding. And then now it's like, yeah, credit card thing. That was credit card thing. I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah.
Strap in.
I just said, yeah, slap it on the credit. I was so annoyed because we did so well to not have any like credit or debt up to that point. And then 2-3 days later, back, completion fees, pay for this, pay for that. It's like, okay.
I was saying though for time that you're like, oh, completion fee is not going to be more than like 5 bills, 6 bills. I was like, I'm telling you, completion fee is going to be a couple racks. You're like, nah, I'm rebuking it.
We didn't even have the people anyway, so we had to pay on credit card. So
no, we didn't pay the completion fees on credit card. We paid it on our overdraft. And then...
part of it was on my credit card. Okay. You paid it on your overdraft. I paid it on my credit card.
That was techie.
Credit card,
literally...
Tesco's credit card, bruv.
Interest free.
The thing I bought it for the wedding straight. The thing came free. 2 years, no interest, bro. I said, yo. Pied it. And the time came, slapped it on. I was like, bruv, I'm just paying that down slowly even now. Honestly, it's paying that down slowly even now. But thank God, man. So, yeah. Should we move on to the next question?
I don't know if we answered the question. But the overarching advice is that you got to come to the table with ideas of the direction. You have to compromise on a lot of things. And most of the time, wives, you hide costs from your partner because there are some things that, you know, Josh was like, yeah, I'm not paying for that. Bruv, just have to slide a little 4 bills back a dance floor for the trad. If it up to Josh, you would have been dancing our traditional wedding on a wooden dance floor. When it was lighting up, you were enjoying it. Dancing to a shaka, you were enjoying it, not knowing where it came from, bro.
Wooden floor, the floor lights up, the floor transforms like a transformer.
It does.
I'll have been dancing and enjoying myself anyway.
That wooden floor wasn't it, but yeah. So most of the time, wives, you got a, you know, a little boot on here, little, you know, you got to slide.
I think just work together, man, and also like recognize it's like one of the biggest parties you're ever gonna throw, really. So like, yeah, put into it, man. Make it a special night, make a special moment. Have it how you want, and then go forward from there. But also secure your future as well.
Because the wedding is one day.
Yeah. The
wedding is actually one day. So don't go broke for one day and not secure your future. Because for me, like, that's one thing. I have no regrets over the wedding because we had secured what was going to happen the day after the wedding. And I think that's really, really, really important.